Hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you're having a good day or a good week, whenever it is that you're watching this. Today we're just doing a book review, kind of. It's more like me talking about some books that I read, sapphic books, of course. I have 3 books. I feel like 2 of them are kind of more well known, but I'm going to redo this video when I finished the last book that I'm reading with some maybe lesser known ones. So we're just starting off today with some like basic ones. Maybe you've heard of them, I don't know. Yeah, it's less of a review and more of me just talking about my opinion of these books. Maybe it can provide you guys with a recommendation. They're all really different, so yeah. If you have any book recommendations, please leave them below and we can like look at them in the future. I have 3 here now, and then I've just finished 2 more and I'm halfway through another one. So once I finish that one, I'm going to remake the video again. Yeah, I really like to read. I don't really watch things that much because movies and TV series kind of stress me out. So I like to read mostly. Yeah. Before we start, I got these new bangles. They're really cute. I'm gonna show you. They're like this. I don't know if you can see, but they're like this basically. They're really cute. So they're not really, I don't know if they make much noise. Also, I wanted to say that I'm getting a new mic very soon. So this is one of the last few videos, I think, with this current mic. And when I get the new one, I'll just make a sort of random mic scratching sort of video. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, and then we'll just continue, because this mic, I don't like it. I kind of got it when I first started filming and I didn't know if I would enjoy it or keep filming, whatever. So yeah, but now I know I enjoy it and you're enjoying it as well. I'm going to get a better mic. Anyways, onto the books. I have 3 books, like I said. They're all quite different. I'll show you each one now and then we're going to talk about each one separately. This is One Last Stop. The cover looks like this. I think this is quite a popular book. I didn't really realise until I was looking into it the other day. It's kind of, I think it's like a TikTok recommended book or something. Like, I think it did its number on TikTok. I don't really know because I'm not very good with like TikTok and things. I'm not very good at like short form content. I get really confused, I don't know. So I don't really go on TikTok that much, but I did realise that I think this book has done the rounds on there. But we're going to talk about this one because I feel like that one's quite well known. I'm so sorry. Also, this one I feel like is quite well known. It's This Is How You Lose the Time War, I think. It looks like this, and it has red and blue. These are the 2 main characters of the book. So we're going to talk about this one. And then I also have Dipping with Velvet. I think this one might be a bit less less known. Yeah, this one is set, I think, in like the late 1800s, but I might be wrong. But we're going to talk about each one. I'm going to leave this one till last. They're all quite different. So I will start with One Last Stop. I'm so sorry if you've already heard people talk about this book, but I picked up this book because I wanted to read something light-hearted and fun, and this book is definitely that. It's so nice. I quite like, this is so weird, but it has a really good font, so it's really easy to read. Like, you can see the font here. It's very easy, like on the eye, which I think is actually really important. I also love that it's a really big book because I like a big story that you can read a lot. It's about a girl called August. She moves to New York City, and you're kind of just following her journey as she's just moved there. I'll read a bit of the blurb. It says, for cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right, that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist. and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train. Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile. I'm not going to read on because I'm not going to ruin any of it. But basically, this is August. She meets Jane on the queue, which I think is like New York's metro. I don't know. The only way I would know to call it is a tube because I live in London. So, yeah, I don't know. The reason I liked this book is because I read it when I first moved to London, and it's about this girl that's just moved to New York City. So the timing felt nice, and she's making all these new friends, new roommates. She meets a girl. You get a lot of like storyline in here because it's so big, so you get to understand her life better. There's also, she has like complex things going on with her family which are really interesting, kind of like a side story weaving through which interconnects, which I think could have been done a little bit better, but it's still really interesting. I really like that there's a focus on queer community in this book with her roommates, there's drag queens, it's really nice, and there's a happy ending, there's a nice ending, which I think is important. This book isn't very challenging. It's a nice read when you want something comforting, which is, I think, really nice sometimes. Like, this is quite a girly book. It's kind of like a series, you know. It's like watching a series. So yeah, I really like this book. I think some people were saying, because I was looking about what other people were saying about this book, some people were saying that the geography and accuracy of the queue, like the tube that they're always on, is not correct, like it's not very accurate, which doesn't bother me because obviously I don't know how it's correct. But if you do, it might bother you. I don't know. It's like if somebody was getting one of the London tube lines wrong, I would be a bit annoyed. Like I would have it in my mind, but because I don't know, then it's not distracting to me. But yeah, it's nice. It is a bit of, not a slow burn, but you get to see August and Jane's dynamic play out, which is really nice. So yeah, if you're looking for something comforting, like I found this book so nice to just dip in and out of. It's not hard to, you know, when you leave a book for a while and you've got no clue what's going on, if you left it for a week or two, no, like this book you can just leave and come back to and it's completely fine. So yeah, and like I said, it's an easy read. Don't be intimidated by the size. Like if you're not normally a reader, don't be intimidated by the size because it's actually like quick to read. There's nothing that complex or challenging in there. I was going to say something, I can't remember. It can't have been that important. Yeah, anyway, this book's really good. I'm not like rating or ranking because I think every book has its own like things to offer. I don't like to compare that much, like numerically. Anyways, not relevant. This book, this is how you lose the time war, right? Yeah. So there's two main characters, red and blue, and the book is dual perspective, which I really like when a book is like that. It goes from red to blue to red to blue, so you get the two characters' perspectives of the story playing out, and each chapter finishes with one of them writing a letter to the other one, which I think is so nice. It's so cool. So you have like Red's chapter, and then at the end it would be Blue's letter to Red, and then you would have Blue's chapter, and at the end is Red's letter to Blue, which I think is really cool because you kind of, the whole book they're sort of like chasing each other, playing with each other. It's really interesting. It's written kind of like poetry. It's a sci-fi book that I feel like that's really important to mention because I didn't fully realise when I bought it, and I found that challenging to read because usually I read things that are a lot easier to read. This one is more sci-fi and more like poetic. On the back somebody says, it's an intimate and lyrical tour of time, myth and history with a captivating captivating conversation between characters. Someone else says lyrical and vivid and bittersweet, which I would really agree. It is very lyrical. It's literally written like poetry, and it is very vivid. You really have to use your imagination and imagine what the author is getting at, because in this book everything is written exactly how it is, whereas this book uses a lot of metaphors and descriptive language for you to kind of, some things are not fully clear to me. I think if you're used to reading sci-fi, you'll probably be more used to what the author's trying to get at, but I don't mind that. I kind of like, it's nice to read something a bit challenging, and it is very bittersweet. Somebody else says rich and strange, a romantic tour through all of time in the multiverse, which I would agree, because it is rich and it is strange. Again, it's very poetic. Yeah, it's kind of a love story. It's not got a clear, the ending is not ideal, I guess. But it's more about the journey with this book, which is really nice. It's more about the going through the journey, I guess. I feel like it's too small, it's way too small, but that also kind of adds to the effect of it being poetic, so I don't mind too much. I feel like if it was longer, then it would be giving novel or something, whereas like this, like, almost verges on poetry. It's so nicely written, just very confusing. It was very confusing for me to read. A lot of the pages I had to go back and read them again and again. But yeah, the two characters are constantly playing off each other and trying to impress one another and gain each other's attention, and it's so cool in that sense. And it is very descriptive. But yeah, I feel like it could have a prequel kind of explaining how they got into this situation, or I would have loved a different ending, to be honest, but that's just me. Like, I do understand why it ended the way it did, or the effect of that. But yeah, it's a really good book. If you like something more poetic, then I would recommend this book. I bought this in a gay bookshop in London, actually. I remember on the day that I had the interview for my job that I now work in, I went to the interview and then I went to the bookshop after. It's called Gaze the Word in London. I don't really know where it is in London, but yeah, really good, really good. Okay, the final book is this book, Tipping the Velvet. It's set in like around 1800s, I think, Britain, and I think the fact that it is a British book is quite important because there's a lot of things that are of the time. It's set in, the character, she's originally born in Whitstable. I don't know where that is. Sounds like Devon, but I don't know. Somebody's watching this like, is she stupid? And then the character might be southeast London, actually. No, England. The character, she then moves to London. So the fact that it's British is quite important to the plots, I think, and because it reads very British. I love books that are set in the past, especially like set in the British past. I really find them so interesting. So that was a massive part of why I enjoyed this book so much. Like, I think out of all these books, I enjoyed it the most, although at the time I found this book so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It really takes you on a roller coaster of emotions. It's not just like flat. The book is about Nancy King, and you kind of follow her from adolescence to like growing up. It's, somebody says a saucy, sensuous, oh no, this is the blurb, sorry, you know when there's reviews. A saucy, sensuous and multi-layered historical romance. I would not agree with calling this book a historical romance, but whatever. Tipping the Velvet follows the glittering career of Nancy King, oyster girl turned musical star, turned rent boy, turned East End Tom. I think before reading it, you should look at what a rent boy is and what an East End Tom is, because I had to Google these things. Maybe that's obvious and I just didn't know, but yeah. Because she starts off in a small family, in a small town, working in an oyster restaurant. and then she moves to London, and she's a West End star. The book is split into 3 parts. At the in the first part, I would see why it's called a romance, historical romance, because she's in love with somebody else, another girl, of course, sapphic only. And then in the second part, she's making crazy decisions. I don't even know why. Some of the decisions that she makes are so frustrating. I can kind of understand why she might make them, but honestly, she's so frustrating. So the second one is kind of, I'm not going to say self-destructive, but she definitely could have avoided the situations that she was in. Although I see why. And then the third part is kind of picking up the pieces and healing and building a good life for herself, I suppose. When I first finished reading the first half, I was so frustrated. I had to put this book down for a good 2 weeks. I couldn't even look at it. I was so annoyed. I was literally so annoyed. And then the second half as well, it took me a long time to get through this book because it was literally a roller coaster and it was annoying me so much. But it is really good. It's really good. Even though I don't agree with the main character, it's really interesting to follow her though. And the things that she does. And again, it's set in I think the 1800s, late 1800s, really late 1800s. Let me see if I can find a date somewhere. But I don't think I can. Also, the font, it's a really big book, which I really like, because I like to really get into a story, and I like a lot of description around the main character and the side characters and things. I really like that. When there's a lot of things going on. I don't like a short book, but don't be intimidated because it's easy. Again, it's not the easiest to read, but it's not difficult. The font is like this. If that matters to you. Font matters to me. I'm going to see if I can find a section of the book so I can see any of the dates where it's set. Okay, no. I can't. Which is annoying. Anyway, but yeah, you can see so that's part 1. You could read that and then it goes into part, you could read it as 3 separate stories, I think, because I kind of did take breaks between the sections because like I said, I was frustrated. But this book is really good if you're looking for something to actually get involved in and stuck into. You can probably get into this book. I bought this book from Common Press, which is another gay bookshop, queer bookshop in London. They have a cafe as well. If you're ever in the area, you should check it out. It's so good in there. It's so calming. The people that work there play really good music, and you can just get a coffee and get your book. So yeah, I would recommend Common Press. It's also near to Brick Lane, which is really cool. Of course, because you have all the vintage markets and things like that. So yeah. If I was to rate these books out of enjoyment, they all offer something very different. It's this one is poetic, and this one is a roller coaster, and this one is calming. But I think if you were to offer me, it depends on my mood, but I do like a roller coaster. I actually did really like this book, because not only is it a roller coaster, it also has the element that it's set in the past, which again I like. These books are kind of on par for me. This one, the way it's written, is beautiful. It's so nice. It's just not my style for it to be so short. Like I said, I really like to get into a book and get to know all the characters more. But I do understand why it was the length it was, and this book I really like because it's a nice, fun read and it's very gay. But I like the challenge of this one. So yeah, that's that. That's what I've read recently. This isn't even recent. I read these books a while ago. I did say a while ago that I was going to make this video. And then I don't know what distracted me, but I didn't. And then when I thought about it again recently, I realised I didn't read these books for a long time. So I had to go back and kind of refresh myself a little bit so I'd know what to talk about. help with them. But yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't wear any makeup today, which I think I filmed one more video without makeup. It's a manifestation video. Yeah, what was my point there? Oh, I was like, is that kind of weird? I felt kind of, I don't know, but also at the same time I think we should all embrace our natural faces and blah blah blah. I don't know. And I feel like it gives a more chilled vibe because now we're all going to bed, except from me because I'm going to see my friend now. But after filming this, I'm really tired and I wish I could sleep. I feel like really sleepy now. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, getting a new mic soon, so I'm really sorry because I know this one sucks. I'm going to kind of do some part 2s or redos of some videos I've already done with the better mic, so I hope that you enjoy those. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you soon.